include that. So when you name the cities, just don't name them. Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our weekly board session. It's Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. It's 9 o'clock, and we are here in the center hearing room at 555 Court Street, Northeast in Salem. As always, we start with the Pledge of Allegiance, so if you please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we don't have anybody signed up for public comment, but I need a motion to make a modification to our consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move to remove the City of Aurora from the consent calendar under item 3.
Okay, I'll second the motion. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
I just want to say that there's nothing wrong with it, but we want more information from staff before we move to approve it. So that'll come in the next week and we'll likely see it next week.
Great. Okay, with that, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Okay, now if you please move the consent agenda.
Yes, I move to approve the consent agenda under Board of Commissioners OLCC application, recommend approval for Close LE LLC in St. Paul. Board committee appointments, Public Safety Coordinating Council, approve an order appointing Commander Mike Hartford to the Marion County Public Safety Coordinating Council as a community corrections member beginning October 25th, 2023. Item 3, approve amendment number 1 to the American Rescue Plan subrecipient agreement for the following cities to revise the dates in the project plans through December 31st, 2026. The City of Donald, the City of Gates, and the City of Mill City. And under Business Services, item 4, approve an order to adopt the revised Marion County Risk Management Program rules as referenced in Exhibit A. Item 5, approve in order to adopt revised Marion County Administrative Policy Number 507, Coordination of Health, Safety, and Environmental Issues. Under Finance, item 6, approve a quitclaim deed for the sale of a tax foreclosed property for tax account number 106178 from Marion County to Alejandra Garcia. Under Health and Human Services, item 7, approve an order approving 10 ambulance service area ASA franchise applications as referenced in attachment A to correct a scrivener error of September 27th, 2023. Under Human Services, item 8, approve the recommendation to update the classification and uphold the pay grades for class codes number 360, Benefits and Risk Manager, number 460, Maintenance Supervisor, number 482, Facilities Maintenance and Systems Coordinator, number 493, Construction Project Coordinator, and number 494, Facilities Program Manager. And update the classification and adjust the pay grades upward for class number 014, Administrative Specialist Detective Section, number 022, Claims Adjuster, number 138, Chief Civil Supervisor, number 167, Economic Development Coordinator, number 483, Building Maintenance Specialist, number 495, Building Maintenance Specialist Senior, number 496, Electrician 1, and number 497, Electrician 2. And under Public Works, item 9, oh my gosh, approve an order for the transfer of a segment of Butteville Road from the Marion County's jurisdiction to the City of Woodburn's jurisdiction. Item 10, approve a resolution authorizing Marion County Parks to apply for a grant through the Oregon Parks and Recreation Department's Land and Water Conservation Fund Program for development of North Fork Park. Item 11, approve amendment number 2 to the purchase order with Fastenal Company to add $142,000 for a new contract total of $517,000 for the purchase of parts, safety clothing, and operational supplies through June 30th, 2024. Item 12, approve of purchase order with Generac Power Systems Incorporated in the amount of $104,960 for the purchase of 2 portable light towers and 2 mobile trailer mounted diesel generators, retroactive to June 8th, 2023 through November 22nd, 2023. And finally, under Tax Office Item 13, approve an order advancing tax levies to certain small taxing districts as referenced in Exhibit A in the total amount of $304,293.07 for the year 2023-24.
Commissioner Cameron owes you.
I'm just saying, wow.
Okay, well, I'll second that motion. We have a motion and a second. And a debt owed by Commissioner Cameron.
Yep.
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, I saw Phil there. Come on up, Phil. We're going to consider approval of amendment number 1 to the contract for services with Gibraltar Medical Staffing LLC to add $2,250,000 for a new contract total of $2,750,000 to provide qualified temporary medical personnel through January 31st, 2028. Good morning, Phil.
Morning, Commissioners. Yes, the Gibraltar contract has allowed actually us to open up services for mental health services for kids. We actually have 19 vacancies. Currently with QMHP, the Gibraltar agency has allowed us to fill 10 of those positions and has been able to have 4 of those positions be in the adult services and 6 of those in the children's services. This has allowed us to actually open up enrollments. It also has allowed us to decrease caseload size to retain staff, and it allows us to provide immediate service for mental health services for the community.
So it's like a win-win-win, it sounds
So
like.
it's a win-win-win.
Great, and you're pretty excited about it.
I'm really excited about it.
So you're like,
Comes with a
commissioners,
high
don't
price, though,
screw
but-
this up, commissioners. Any questions?
I don't have any questions. I'm glad that we're finally here doing this, and I appreciate your willingness to be creative to get services to the citizens who need it most.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
All right, I move to approve amendment number 1 to the contract for services with Gibraltar Medical Staffing LLC to add $2,250,000 for a new contract total of $2,750,000 to provide qualified temporary medical personnel through June 31st, 2028.
I'll second the motion. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Actually, if you would. So when we had this conversation at Management Update a couple of weeks ago, I feel like the conversation was really positive, and one of the things that we pointed out, and I think is important for not just our employees, but also the community, is we staff up in permanent positions that are vacant.
Correct.
We will reduce this contract, kind of 1 for 1, is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
So if we can fill the positions, we'd be happier because the contract ones are invested in our community as
Right.
well. So,
So for those watching, apply for the job and come work for Marion County.
yes, please.
So even though it runs to 2028, our hope is that it doesn't run to 2028.
Yes.
If we fill all of our positions, then we'll end this contract early.
Yes,
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Thank you for doing this, Phil, appreciate it. Okay, Christina, come on down. We haven't seen you in a while.
That's not true. I spent like 2 hours with her yesterday.
Oh, I haven't seen you in a while.
Good morning, Commissioners. I am here today to seek approval to enter into contract with Pelton Projects to develop a residential treatment home for individuals with co-occurring disorders. The funding for this project comes from the $6.3 million Behavioral Health Housing Investment Fund appropriated out of the state's general fund. The goal for this funding is to expand behavioral health housing to alleviate the bottleneck in the continuum of care. And this contract will allow Pelton Projects to acquire a property, renovate, and pay for startup costs. Pelton Projects already has successfully built a hybrid model that provides substance use treatment at an RTH level of care. And with this funding, they'll be able to develop another similar model that provides services to individuals with co-occurring disorders.
Will this new home be in Salem?
Yes,
How many is it going to house?
5.
And what, is it permanent supportive housing?
It's licensed residential treatment.
Okay.
So, yes, it's meant to provide stabilization and then transfer them onto a lower level of care. So
Okay.
it's more of an acute care, but step down from the hospital.
Great, okay.
When do you expect it to open?
So it's, the anticipated date would be April 2024.
Oh, that's pretty quick. Okay.
Yeah.
And so this is for folks stepping down from the state hospital who have substance abuse
Correct.
history and a mental health diagnosis?
Yes.
Okay.
Are they direct referred from our system, or is it What's that look
Yes.
like? How do they get there?
So they go through our enhanced care coordinator. All the referrals go through that person, and then they place them in residential care or licensed care if they meet that level of care, if they need that.
Great.
Any other questions?
No, I would really appreciate meeting the operators, so if you could make that happen.
Absolutely.
Like, let's get a coffee. I'd like to talk about what their overall scope and plan looks like long-term, and see if there's ways to, we need more services like this in our community.
I agree.
And I know it's a really complicated system of care to stand up and maintain, and I know that the Oregon Health Authority has done a fantastic job of really harming the organizations that produce this work. And so it's awesome that someone's trying to make it work, but I imagine there's probably some obstacles and barriers that we need to be aware of to keep it sustainable going forward, and also to advocate for success at the state level. So,
Absolutely. I think
Okay.
they'd really like that.
great.
You really keep me on my toes there.
Sorry.
Oregon State Hospital has done a fantastic job, and I was like, ooh, I want to hear more. I'm waiting for the rest of this sentence.
Of harming.
Of harming, yeah. It was like a
see,
roller coaster.
It's
I
the
was-
optimist in me. I always try to start with the positive.
Yeah,
I like that approach.
okay. Okay. Any further discussion? And I'll take a motion.
All right, I move to approve the grant agreement with Pelton Project Incorporated in the amount of $902,501 for the development and operation of a residential treatment home for individuals ages 18 or older with serious and persistent mental illness and co-occurring substance disorders through April 1st, 2024.
I'll second the motion. We have a motion and a second. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Look how comfortable you were today.
Much better.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes.
Good job.
Thank you. Okay, Gary, you're here. Is Jeff here too? Oh, wow, we got the heavy hitters. Okay. We're going to consider approval of contract for services with Plant and Marion PLLC in the amount of $1,381,555 to provide consulting services for an enterprise resource planning system through December 31st, 2028. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Commissioners. Gary Christopherson, IT Director. IT has been partnering with Finance and on the replacement of our enterprise replacement system. We provide the back-end support for that system, and Jeff's prepared to give you a presentation from the business side about what those requirements are.
Like, really a presentation?
No. Let's be clear on that.
Okay.
My presentation is going to tell you about it.
Good morning, Chair Willis and Commissioner Bethel. My name is Jeff White. I'm the Chief Financial Officer of Marion County. As you are aware, we discussed this contract at Management Update on October 10th. To summarize, we have a legacy accounting and resource planning system for our enterprise, all of Marion County, that is almost 25 years old. It's had several upgrades, but it's time to be replaced. It's a significant project, as Gary mentioned, at about $1.3 million just for the consultant we need to hire to help us gather the requirements for that kind of system, help us develop an RFP, help us select a new vendor, and help project management implementation of that. It looks to be about a 2 to 3 year project. So this is the first step in getting that moving along, is the hiring of this consultant, which is Plant Moran. It's going to be a countywide software project.
Big deal. Okay, yeah, and I'm glad you guys are both here, because you're both going to be very instrumental in carrying this project forward, making sure it's done
Absolutely.
right. This is going to have a huge impact on the whole county, so.
Does somebody want to tell the world what this really means? I mean, we know what it means, but like, can you break it down for layman's terms as to like why we're spending all this money on what?
Sure.
Thanks.
When we say enterprise resource planning software, that means everything related to our budgeting, our accounts payable, our accounts receivable, our general ledger, kind of the books of the county. We have our payroll system, time entry, and how we produce our payroll information. We have some ancillary systems that we've cobbled together over time to help manage the business of the county, a contracts management system, a budget application that's been written in-house that's kind of down to one internal person who can support that. And we want to be as efficient as we can. So we're looking with this consultant to, when we talk about gather requirements, is what do we need that is a system that is efficient to really help the county take care of the business end of what we do. And if there are these ancillary systems that could be gathered into one ERP system, we'd like to do that, so we're as efficient as possible in connecting those different lines of business. Some of them may not be, but we currently, we're challenged with our system. It's so old that it isn't super user-friendly. It's a bit difficult to get reports out of. We're limited and constrained on certain things we can do. And we want to improve services to the employees and the citizens of Marion County by doing this.
Thank you. I mean, I think most people don't even know what an enterprise system is. In fact, I didn't really understand it until I got here. And what's the system right now?
We use Oracle.
Oracle, that's what it is. It sounds like something from a movies from the 80s. And I think it operates about that efficiently. So I appreciate that we're bringing us into the current times. I mean, when I first got here, I was like, hey, I want my paycheck split into 2 banks. And they like laughed at me.
I was
like,
going to use that
"Wait a second."
example of
No, I mean, and now, hopefully, technology is pretty capable of maneuvering through things, and ours just isn't, and now we'll be able to. So I think it'll be overall great.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I think it's I see the sheriff back there. It's these sorts of things. Sometimes people think like, well, what does the county, what are the different services government provides, that kind of thing. But I think sometimes we take for granted the services that have to work, right? Like we're working on a radio system for the county. It must work, right? Public Works there's no like, oh, well, I hope we get this mostly right. No, it has to be all the way right. It has to work, right? And
Yeah.
this is the same thing with this system, is this one has to work. So I appreciate you both taking this and working on it, because this is a big deal. Jen?
Chair Willis, Commissioner. I just want to say Jeff did a great job speaking to the financial components of it. It also includes the people components. So it tracks HR and all of the people we're hiring and their training, and when they get, merit increases and COLA increases. So it's a huge system that integrates all of that together, and that's why it costs so much, why it's probably a 2 or 3 year implementation. And it's going to take not just Gary and Jeff, it's going to take the whole central services team, plus sort of internal, lots of working groups, sort of driving it into the future to make sure we're actually talking to the departments on what their challenges are from an accounting standpoint or an HR standpoint. So I just want to make sure that we get it on the record for HR too. It really is a huge system. Every organization has it. We've become way more complex over time, over the last 20 years. And it's a great one. I think it's a great contract. It'll get us to the best possible system.
Great.
And one other thing that we did interviews with these companies, with Plant Moran. Part of this contract is that they'll help with the change management aspect of this, which is going to be huge for everybody, to help walk us and all the employees through what it's going to look like to be doing things differently. And I'm sorry about forgetting HR. Sometimes you don't focus on just my little world of finance.
All right, very good.
So actually, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Legal counsel just pointed out that on the agenda, it's asking for approval of 1.381555, and the contract is for 1.255555.
Forgive me for how people do, my contracts folks do things, but the 12555 is the consulting fees.
Okay.
There's another 100 and some odd thousand for expenses when they need to travel out here. So
Okay.
the full amount somewhere back in the back piece
Perfect.
shows that part. But the consulting piece is the 1255, as Jane pointed out.
Got it, okay. Well, then, I move to approve the contract for services with Plant and Moran PLLC in the amount of $1,381,555 to provide consulting services for an enterprise resource planning system through December 31st, 2028.
I'll second the motion. The motion is second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Gary, you're staying.
Yes, I
Oh, I was like, he's got more to say.
Sean's coming up. Oh. What do you got, Gary?
So the next agenda item is to consider approval of a purchase order with Dell Marketing in the amount of $1.5 million One of the critical functions that IT provides to the county is to purchase our hardware. We do this on a regular cycle, and we also purchase smaller pieces of hardware for each individual department throughout the year. So it's a lot of work for us to coordinate those purchases and bring them to the board repeatedly. So Cynthia Klein, my administrative services manager, is going to give you some more detail about what we're trying to accomplish here.
Good morning.
Great, good morning.
Sorry I wasn't on the agenda, but no, I'm here.
We love that you're here.
Yeah.
So we're requesting approval of this contract purchase order as a simplified acquisition method. We have multiple purchases throughout the year. Many times they're over $100,000. Most of the purchases, $1 million of this over 2 years, will be for our life cycle equipment replacement program, which that is replacing 20% of primary devices throughout the county every year. And the other $500,000 over the course of 2 years is for purchases for enterprise, for different departments. We purchase them all through ticketing system through our department. It just simplifies it so we can not have to bother you folks so much. And I know you say it's not a bother, but we try to streamline it so we can just get purchases moving through so we can keep on schedule for replacement of our products. This is going through Dell Technologies, and that's through Pennsylvania Educational Purchasing Program for microcomputers. It's on a cooperative contract.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Cynthia or Gary?
Nope.
Well, that was easy.
Thanks for
I know.
keeping the computers
Thank you.
running around here. All right, I'll take a motion.
I move to approve the purchase order with Dell Marketing in the amount of $1,500,000 to provide computer hardware and support services for the life cycle replacement program through June 30th, 2025.
I'll second the motion. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
None.
All right, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. All right, Ryan, you're up. We're going to consider approval of amendment number 3 to the engineering and related services contract with David Evans and Associates Incorporated to add $414,951.05 for a new contract total of $1,325,949.54 to provide construction, engineering, and inspection services for Phase 2 of the Hazel Green Road Pudding River Bridge project through December 31st, 2026.
All right, good morning. For the record, Ryan Crowther, Marion County Public Works Capital Projects Manager, and like you said, I'm here to talk about our Hazel Green Road Northeast Pudding River Bridge project and Amendment 3 with David Evans and Associates. Project's located between the cities of Salem and Silverton on Hazel Green Road, just east of Howell Prairie. You can see on the map here kind of the exact location. So the project scope, the actual construction project, is to replace the existing bridge, which was built in 1969, with a new structure that meets all current standards. This is a bridge that inundates in large rain events. We're going to raise that bridge, so that's a big part of the project, is bringing it up. That doesn't mean we're going to raise adjacent roadways, but we are raising the bridge. We're also going to realign Torvald Road to accommodate the new bridge and to bring it closer to a 90-degree angle, which will improve the functionality of the bridge. All right, and then, excuse me. Finally, we're going to construct road approaches and new guardrail. So Amendment 3 adds construction services. What these will do is they'll allow the consultant to help us through the construction phase of the project. That includes project management, construction inspection, environmental inspections, environmental compliance, quality assurance, contract administration, payment documentation. This isn't a comprehensive list of everything in the contract. This is just a high-level view of what's in there. What they're going to do is really provide all services needed to bring us through construction as the professional of record. They've designed the project, and they have inspectors that specialize in bridge construction, which will allow them to really help us through this process. And then finally, they'll do our as-built drawings. They'll help us close out the project. It's a federally funded project, so there's a significant amount of paperwork and oversight that go into these. And so they'll help us navigate that and bring a team on board that can just supplement the county resources. All right, and finally, we have budget and schedule. So the current budget for this contract is $910,998.49. This amendment adds $414,951.05. Because it's federally funded, only 10.27% of that contract is anticipated to be paid by the county. Through the project's funded through the local bridge program, which is one of our federal funding sources. So the estimated county obligation for this amendment is $42,615.47. So that brings our new contract total, as we said in the agenda, to $1,325,949.54. Construction is anticipated to start in 2024. We're preparing to bid the project this winter. We have all of our documents lined up. This is one of the final pieces we need to put in place before we're able to go to bid. So that will allow the contractor to begin in the spring, procure materials, and really hit the ground running in 2024. And with that, do you have any questions?
Is this the bridge before Mallory's if you're heading
It
out
is.
Hazel Green? Okay, so I just want to be really clear that this doesn't, during a high water season, allow the road to be open, because it's not correcting the actual road, it's just the bridge. So the bridge will be out of water, but the road on either side of it will be underwater. And that'll still be frustrating, but I don't want people to be led to think that, you can just drive right to Silverton now, once this is complete, because we can't get there. How would we even, we'd have to
Fix
raise
that.
the whole road, right?
We
Build it
would.
up with boulders or something?
We'd have to raise it. It is in a floodplain, so there'd be additional constraints with raising, kind of putting a lot of fill into that floodplain would create issues. It may lead to other requirements that would be needed to kind of do that raising of the road. But it'd be a significant project of its own.
Has it ever been reviewed?
It hasn't been reviewed by my team, but that doesn't mean it hasn't been reviewed in Marion County.
Okay.
I would say that's a good question for Brian Nicholas.
So Ryan, if there's a road in a floodplain, I would hope the government would allow us to fix the road. Like if what you're suggesting is you have problems fixing a road that's existing in a floodplain, that would be ridiculous.
We can fix.
Brian's coming up.
Yes, Brian's
Okay,
coming up. I was
just to
gonna
let
say-
you right off the hook there, Ryan.
I wasn't aware you were back.
Brian Nicholas, Marion County Public Works Director. I saw the wave up, so. Let's see. There's some significant floodplain legal hurdles against building up a road embankment. Just placing that fill, the law just literally doesn't let you do that without some sort of really significant mitigation, like adding equivalent volume or maybe even like a 1.5 to 2 times the volume you add into the floodplain. You have to remove that somewhere else as a mitigation. And then there's all kinds of other mitigation things to go. So it's a pretty expensive proposition. I think the most realistic solution would to actually build a bridge causeway.
Okay.
It's because that would minimize fill. And just off the, we're talking maybe $15-20 million for a bridge of that length. It would be pretty significant.
So I'm like 100% certain that Hazel Green Road existed before the federal government changed the law with regards to floodplains.
Oh yeah.
So it's a
But
little
during
bit
the whole time it's
silly.
existed, it's always
It's like
been
you can have a
seasonal.
bad road there, but God forbid you have a good road there.
Well, some of the significant things that are happening here is, we have something else that sort of works against putting money into building up Hazel Green Road to get the road surface out of the floodplain. And that is, there are reasonable ways around. In fact, this bridge is going to actually improve the intersection at the west end of the bridge, and that is a ready-made detour route around this seasonal closure. Hazel Green Road, just since it was built, has always been a seasonal road that has always had floodgates on it.
It's really just a farm road, but everyone else uses it. And I think, though, too, to be clear in my thinking, Silverton's growing in its population. There's apartment complexes coming online. They're looking at putting in an entire development near the Oregon Garden. So while there are roads around it, we have to be diligent in what transportation and proper access and not overwhelming congested spaces. So I'm not opposed to really at some point seeing what we can do to try to make this road a viable road. Obviously in the future, I know we have $1 zillion in other road projects that we're working on, but it'd be great to have some information to see what it looks like to really try to get there, in 15 years from now, which is
Yeah.
probably the reality of that.
Well, we can definitely do some cost estimating based on the regulatory constraints right now and as a starting point of,
Yeah.
of what a solution might look like.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, I think it kind of undersells it to say it's just a farm road. Like, that might have been what it was at one point.
Well,
but it's-
originally,
It's like
yes.
the
Right.
road from Silverton to Salem. So it's kind of like,
Well, it is the freight route between Silverton and I-5.
Yeah.
That's the
Right.
significant role it plays.
Right.
Yep.
yeah, okay.
Thanks, Brian. Okay, I move to approve amendment number 3 to the engineering and related services contract with David Evans and Associates Incorporated to add $414,951.05 for a new contract total of $1,325,949.54 to provide construction, engineering, and inspection services for Phase 2 of the Hazel Green Road Northeast Pudding River Bridge project through December 31st, 2026.
I second the motion. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. All right, and now we're going to consider approval of
Thanks,
amendment
Ryan.
number 5 to the contract for services with Keller Associates Incorporated to add $454,132 for a new contract total of $2,550,059 for additional surveying, engineering, and environmental permitting tasks for the North Santiam Canyon Sewer Project. Good
Yay!
morning, Chris.
Thank you. For the record, Chris Einmo, Project Manager, Marion County Public Works. And so this is amendment number 5 of the Keller contract, PW 506-922. This was a contract that was written for very complex and aggressive timelines, so it was anticipated that there would be multiple amendments. So this is, number 5 is the next phase of the work that we're moving into. There's a fair number of tasks here, so I'll, for the sake of clarity, I'll just describe the lower basin tasks first, Mill City Gates, and then the upper basin, Detroit Idana. So for the overall system design, we are expanding the scope of the financial planning. That is, so far, what they've done is really give us just a snapshot that's been provided to the North Santiam Sewer Authority for the purposes of forming a governance structure and rate forecasting. What we really did was just to get that first step was kind of a first year, once the system is built, what does it look like? We're going to expand that significantly to really build up a year-by-year forecast of what the operation of the system looks like and how that will be impacted by additional development. And we have put out surveys to the 4 cities to get their kind of a range of high and low growth projections to help aid them in that decision-making. Then this will actually give them a build-up year-by-year of what to expect in terms of rates. It's really just an operating cost divided by the number of connections. And so it's really to aid them in how they would form that governance structure that would in turn set rates. So that is it. Actually, that's it for the financial planning aspect. And that is kind of system-wide, but it's done in 2 phases with the intent to construct the lower basin first, and the upper basin would be constructed at a future time in terms of the overall sewer. So for that lower basin, the other major aspect of this work we need to move into is the connection between Gates and Mill City. And we have identified an alignment for the proposed pressurized pipeline that will form that connection. Really, it's pretty much overwhelming advantages of this alignment we've identified. So that's why we want to move ahead aggressively with getting that one, getting all the information we need to design. And that is the old railroad alignment, a historic railroad that used to run along the along that line. It's not in State Road 22, it's mostly just south of it. And that's a linear parcel that is owned by ODOT, and they've indicated their willingness to work with us on installing that pipeline in what's really perpetual utility easement. So what we will be doing for that is the topo and recovery survey, doing some environmental clearance, a phase 1 environmental site assessment, general due diligence, and a geotechnical evaluation to study the soils along the alignment, as well as looking at some potential landslide risks and other factors.
Okay.
And with that, we would also be bringing in the surveyors getting fully engaged on this project, so they would be doing some additional survey work down in Mill City. And then a lot of the complexity with the amendment comes with the support for the Detroit commercial septic system. So we have a number of tasks there that are supporting that. So far, we have actually engaged in consultations with 20 different property owners, covering the vast majority of the property ownership up there for commercial parcels. And we are feeding those applications to our Keller septic designer as fast as they can take them. So each one is really like a separate miniature design project because of the complexity of commercial septic systems. And so we're expanding that scope to do additional design work and supporting those property owners with their permit application so that they can get their system permitted, and then we can execute an agreement, grant agreement between each of those owners.
Chris, is this going to be a project with Keller that's going to run parallel to each other each phase, or I'm interested really in phase 4, and if it's delayed because of other work for the main sewer?
They are running in parallel.
Okay,
Yes.
thanks.
Yes, absolutely, they are running at the same time.
Okay.
So we are still doing the facility planning study for Detroit and Idana. That's moving at the exact same pace, just in the meantime, we're providing all the support we can to help the property owners move through the process quickly, make sure everybody can benefit from the commercial septic grant program.
And for Detroit Avenue, I know there was it just 3 commercial property owners that you were having a hard time connecting with?
We've got it down to 1.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Okay.
And so a couple of our contacts have been through the realty community up there. So we only have 1 outstanding, and that's one of the ministries that owns the old church, but the other church of the other pastor is helping us make contact too.
Okay.
So we're hoping we'll have that last contact soon.
That's great. I know there's been some concern in the Detroit community, specifically on the city council, that people are being left behind, or somehow we weren't doing as good of a job as you're already doing. So I'm glad to hear that you're down to 1 and you're almost to the finish line with getting them to the table. I know it's important overall for efficiency of this, for them to be doing it all together. And not
Yes.
have just a one-off hanging out there for some future never to connect. Yeah.
Yes, really, once we started to make those contacts, it was the word of mouth in the community that helped us reach the others. And there were a handful that are either under contract or kind of doing their due diligence for potential purchase, where the existing owner was a little harder to contact, but once we started making those contacts, we were able to get through to the original owner or the current owner. And so that's really been our big push now, is those properties that are moving forward most quickly. Some of them are potential purchases. So we're working with both the owner and anyone that they ask us to share that with.
Awesome. Okay, that's great. Thank you.
And with that, one of our biggest challenges with those designs is simply a lack of information right now. Either there are records that were, the city itself lost its records in the fire. A lot of property owners lost their records. And the full extent of the damage underground wasn't always clear at first. So to help support our commercial designer, we're bringing in a few contractors to help with that.
Okay.
One is going to be utility locator, and simply, we don't know what's under the ground in some cases. So we're going to run in with cameras on long kind of pipeline snakes, and really try to see exactly how far those pipes go. Are they broken? Was anything damaged in the fire? Was anything just, there are old historic systems that we don't have great records on. So that's going to get our consultant the information that they need to help those owners put together the best and most expeditious permit application.
Is there a time frame for this work to be completed in order for the project to kind of move ahead so commercial owners can begin to actually rebuild?
Yes, sir, absolutely. The ARPA deadlines are still applicable to
Okay.
everybody. So that is really the overarching constraint, is to make sure that everything is obligated by December 2024. Because the commercial septic systems are smaller, the expenditure can easily take place well before 2026, but we want to get them up and running sooner whenever possible.
Okay.
So our strategy has been to help them pursue kind of a phased approach where they can use called a like-for-like permitting, where they are essentially permitting under what was there before. That's the fastest pathway to get to a septic permit. And then once they get that up and running, then giving them a plan to move ahead and expand within those timelines.
Oh, good.
We also do have some environmental constraints just because of the water table and the potential for snow. So we want to make sure we can help them work around those as well.
Okay, thank you.
And in addition to the utility locations, oftentimes we don't have enough soil data, whether it's from an older evaluation or we just need to get new data for the application. So we need to dig test pits. So we're hiring an excavator for that. And also, we sometimes don't have surveys on these. So a lot of records were lost, so we need to tie in property corners.
Wow.
So all that's
It's like
being
rebuilding a whole town.
It's like a lot of miniature projects all at once.
It's just like that.
And then with those two, we are trying to pursue the best available path and truly exhaust all options for those septic systems. Obviously, it's very constrained up there. For the commercial corridor that's fronting State Road 22, ODOT has been very agreeable working with us to get a surplus easement granted along that frontage. They've confirmed that their long-term plans for OR 22 are not an obstacle for the space that we want. So our goal is to give each owner that is along 22 an easement that they can extend their drain field. That gives them some critical space to lay drain field and still have developable land within their parcel. So we have a number of supporting tasks to do that and to make it happen in a timely manner. We need to do a recovery survey on that land as well and do the legal descriptions for the easements themselves. We have environmental and cultural due diligence, as well as the actual land acquisition. And we've extended that from, initially we thought it might be 5, we've extended that to 12. The intent of that is that each property owner will have an individual easement. That makes it much more straightforward from a permitting standpoint. And I believe that covers everything under the scope. With that, if there are any questions.
I have no other questions.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Yes, lots of questions. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for your work on this.
All right, I move to approve amendment number 5 to the contract for services with Keller Associates, Inc. to add $454,132 for a new contract total of $2,550,059 for additional surveying, engineering, and environmental permitting tasks for the North Santiam Canyon Sewer Project through December 31st, 2026.
I will second the motion. We have a motion and a second. Do you have any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now I will open a public hearing to consider an amendment to the Marion County Rural Code to permit rural accessory dwelling units in the acreage residential zone. Good morning, Brandon.
Good morning. And good morning, Commissioners. For the record, Brandon Wright, Marion County Planning Director. So I have a number of items to read or to share with you this morning as part of the staff report. And so I encourage you, as I go through, if you have questions, absolutely let me know. We'll be happy to stop and be able to talk about those. So recent legislative changes allows the county to permit accessory dwelling units in the acreage residential zone. Senate Bill 391 in 2021 initially allowed the county to permit ADUs in a rural residential zone subject to certain criteria. One of those criteria was the adoption of wildfire maps.
Those have not been fully created yet and adopted, and so Senate Bill 644 in 2023 amended the statute to allow a county to permit ADUs in a rural residential zone before the wildfire maps are created, subject to certain criteria. That's why we're able to be here today without those wildfire maps. At the time the staff report was prepared, no comments were received. The proposed code implements Oregon Revised Statute 215-495 by adding accessory dwelling units to the acreage residential zone subject to certain standards for development. And these standards are two types. There's siting standards and there's actual development standards. The siting standards apply to the land. They have to meet the requirements that the property is at least 2 acres in size. It can't be located within an urban reserve. We have one area of those near Woodburn, the southwest area near Woodburn. Not be located within a designated area of critical state concern for water, which I'll talk about here in a minute. Not be located in an area where new or existing groundwater uses have been restricted by the Water Resources Commission, unless the ADU and associated lands and gardens will not be served by a well. I'll talk about that in a minute. So the purpose of these standards are to better ensure that the land, the rural land, has the capacity to support this additional dwelling unit. Additionally, the statute, it lays out a lot of specifics for us on how to implement this, although there are options that the board has. The statute requires the ADU be constructed to meet certain standards, have a maximum living space of 900 square feet, be located within 100 feet of the primary dwelling. That's in order to minimize any impact to surrounding land by keeping the residential use close. Have adequate setbacks from adjacent lands and resource use, which I believe can be implemented by using our existing setback standards that we have in code. Obtain all necessary building permits and meet the provisions of the Oregon Residential Specialty Code related to wildfire hazard mitigation. So one of the requirements in the new bill was, since that wildfire map has not been created and adopted by the county, or whatever action they're going to ask us to take down the road, then every ADU is subject to these wildfire siting standards for under building code. So things like having siding, covering up soffits, the roofing material to minimize the potential for ignition during a fire. Obtain all necessary septic permits, meet local fire district standards for access, evacuation, and defensible space. Defensible space, as you know, is where closer to the dwelling you have fewer trees, fewer brush, so that if there are fire particles or there are embers and such that are floating in the air, when they land, there's not a tree nearby that they can catch fire and then get close to the house. It's having that fire protected space close to the house. The statute requires it not be used for vacation occupancy or other than a primary residence for a person, and can't be rented for periods of less than 45 days. Not be divided off from the main dwelling. So the statute allows the county to require that an ADU be served by the same water source as the primary dwelling, like a well. The county may also restrict construction of garages and outbuildings to support the ADU. Staff is not recommending adopting these provisions into code. So in this instance, a new well could be established. So next I want to go through some of the water areas, because this is...
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So you also mentioned garages. When you say you're not adopting that into the code, does that preclude them from building a garage?
There's no, the staff's not recommending any prohibition or any preclusion of those.
Thank you.
So with an ADU, you'd still be able to get a garage.
Okay.
So there's 3 different water areas. There's 2 that are identified in statute that I reached out to Oregon Water Resources about because it uses terminology that the state uses. And there's one that the county has that I do not believe statute covers, and Water Resources agrees with me that this is a different type of area. So the 3 areas are, 1, they're prohibited to be developed in an area of critical state concern. The statute prohibits ADUs in those areas of critical state concern for water. I contacted Oregon Water Resources, and there are none of these designated in Marion County. These are very specific areas around the state. Now, the statute also prohibits ADUs in an area where new or existing water uses have been restricted by the Water Resources Commission unless served by a water supply other than a well, for instance, a tank, or if it could be connected to the city. There is one of these areas in Marion County, southeast of Silverton, and there's a map of that area in the staff report, and it's kind of the Victor Point area. Oops. So it's outlined in red.
What is this saying? What's,
This is an area where new wells cannot be drilled.
oh,
The state has restricted that because of the severity of the water. And a lot of this area is within the city limits. Only the yellow is still outside the city. The city brought this in many parcels. They asked them, like in 2000, do you want to be brought into the city and served by city water? And a lot of people did go into the city. Some people haven't, but there actually been, I think, two properties in that area where they come back to the board and ask the board to agree that, yes, there's a water situation on that property, and the board would agree to extending the water outside city limits into rural land to serve that property. So it's still an area that's still having water resource issues. An alternate, however, statute allows an alternate source of water to be provided to that ADU. However, generally those alternate sources of water come at a significant cost. These properties do have an option of being added to the city water services, being brought into city limits, remaining outside the urban growth boundary, even being served by water. There is the option. Staff is not recommending that ADUs be allowed in the groundwater restricted area because of the cost. If the board were to allow that in the area, county code could require that the ADU be served by a source other than a well. So to show what that would look like, in the amendments, I highlighted in yellow that not be located in those areas where water are restricted unless served by, not be served by a well, served by some other use. And if it's located in that area, they have to identify some other type of service for that water. So it'd be a tank, or if the city would extend water, but the county would have to agree to extending water outside.
it's a tank that's filled not by the well. So
That's
like
correct.
a pump truck would have to come in
They'd
and
have to
fill
come
their
in.
water tank.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
So that
super
option's
inconvenient.
there, but it tends to be really expensive.
Yeah.
So the last area is the groundwater limited area. This is a county groundwater area. The research I've done indicates that the statute does not restrict ADUs in our groundwater limited area. In Marion County, these areas are identified as under the sensitive groundwater overlay zone. Staff is not recommending limiting the placement of ADUs in the Marion County sensitive groundwater overlay for a few reasons. One, the unit's limited to 900 square feet, which itself limits the potential for the impact on water in the area. You could build a 5,000 or 6,000 or 8,000 square foot home with multiple bathrooms and many people could live there versus 900 square foot. So there's some limitations inherent. The unit may share a well on the property, limiting any impact of drilling for an additional well. And staff's recommending considering installing a requirement to install a tank associated with the ADU. This is the tank that would be filled from the well. That would minimize the impact to the aquifer by allowing that tank to always be able to fill, and it wouldn't put the pressure on the aquifer all at once when you basically turn the well on to use the water. So those amendments are in blue. If in this SGO area, the ADU would be connected to a 1,000-gallon water tank for use in conjunction with the well. This was actually an idea that came out recently from the Planning Commission for a subdivision in the SGO zone, where a well driller that's familiar with our SGO zone, worked with it for many years, and well drilling wells, recommended a 1,500-gallon tank associated with the dwellings for those properties. And this is a smaller 900 square feet, so the recommendation from staff is 1,000 square feet
That's a big tank.
for the tank.
That's a big tank.
That's a big tank. We could do 750 or 500.
I mean, I'm just saying, it's a big tank.
It is. And once
For a
it-
900 square foot building.
And if it keeps itself topped up, then
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about instant withdrawals from the aquifer
Right.
so much. So I have two more things. Notice of the public hearing was mailed to interested persons and publicized in the Statesman Journal about a month ago. Over the last few years, we received many calls from property owners interested in establishing an ADU on their property. A few have had concerns over impacts to water or traffic in their neighborhoods. So since I prepared the draft code in blue, I'm recommending one change, and it seems kind of minor, but I think it would help clarify at the counter when we work on these. Where the blue highlight says that the ADU be connected to a 1,000-gallon water storage tank for use in conjunction with the well, staff recommending adding serving the ADU on the property, so that the complete sentence would read, be connected to a 1,000-gallon water storage tank for use in conjunction with the well serving the ADU on the property. That way the ADU and the well would go together, and when you finance and you construct that well, as opposed to trying to establish a tank on an existing home that would be on the property, that might be more cumbersome, more expensive, but not as possible. So the ADU and the well, the tank would definitely be going together. So with that, staff recommends the board review the suggested amendments and direct staff for how it would like to proceed.
So the adjusted language, is that just to try to ease the concern of community members who are assuming that a property owner is going to put in a 1,000-gallon holding tank, maybe for pressure, that could feed the main primary dwelling and also the ADU, and they really would like it to only feed the ADU?
I guess the concern would be if they put in a tank to feed the existing dwelling and they drill a new well, and it's that well that causes the impact to the neighborhood, and to minimize that impact, have the tank with that well, the new well, so that that new well wouldn't be drawing water so immediately.
So I think that you might need to add additional language then, potentially saying, shall be connected to a 1,000-gallon water storage tank for use in conjunction with the primary well serving the ADU on the property. Because if you're trying to preclude the access or drill of a second well, you want to make sure that holding tank is drawing from the only well on the property,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yeah, the well that serves the ADU. I'll add
You
that
accept
language.
Yeah.
Okay. I have no idea what I just said, so
I-
hopefully Brendan captured it.
I got it down.
Okay.
Can you say it for us, Brendan?
I believe I heard, let me read the whole paragraph. If located on a property in the Marion County sensitive groundwater overlay, the ADU shall be connected to a 1,000-gallon water storage tank for use in conjunction with the primary well serving the ADU on the property.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
With that, I'm available for any questions you may have.
I don't have any questions.
I don't
This
either.
is
I'm
very
thrilled that we're finally
comprehensive.
here. And I mean, I understand the reservation from all of our friends in the world around restricting ADUs to just this type of land. I do think there's opportunity in the future to see what adding an ADU to an EFU space or other types of zoned land throughout Marion County looks like, specifically because, as we've discussed, farming is not a rich industry, and it's expensive for it to be generational, and the inability for that next operational space of that generation to be able to live close on the farm. It's so convoluted to be able to get them to be able to live on the farm with their parents or grandparents that are actually working that land, and I would like to see us explore more access that is restricted in some way, that doesn't burden the land and remove the access to where the primary use of it is, but allows flexibility for families to be close, to be able to work that land without having to be overburdened by traveling far away, paying for a property somewhere else, et cetera, that I've heard repeatedly since I've been a commissioner is a major burden on some of our family farms. So maybe we'll slowly get there. You guys can go do all that work at the legislature and get it done, okay? So I'm glad we're here with
I
this.
intend I hope to make this very successful for Marion County, because I'd like to demonstrate that on other rural land, it can be successful as well. One of the things that come up is that people do a hardship dwelling on their property, and a hardship dwelling is their medical condition and family members there to provide care. However, they're temporary and they have to be removed. Some people are interested in doing an ADU. They can use it for a hardship now, but they can make an investment they can keep on their property for down the road when the hardship condition changes. They can still keep that ADU unit and use it in other ways. So this is an opportunity to make investments in the property that go beyond what we have right now.
Agreed, thank you.
Yeah. I'm happy. This is a good direction. What do you need from us? This is a public hearing, obviously, so.
It's a public hearing.
Are you looking
There
for
might
a?
be public comment, is there?
I don't have anybody signed up for public
Oh, you're
comment.
just observing?
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I think next steps, it sounds like you would move to approve amendment of the acreage residential zone code as proposed by staff and amended by the board today, and then direct them to return with an ordinance reflecting today's decision.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion, and I'll second that motion. So we now have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thanks, Jane.
And I will close this public hearing.
Thank you,
Okay,
Commissioners.
that does it for our agenda this morning. Commissioner Bethel, do you have anything you want to add before we adjourn?
I'm going out tonight to the community of Silverton for SACA's grand opening of their new community resource center. It's basically like a food bank, and they provide services to their community members in need. It's kind of state-of-the-art space. It's in the old Ratchet Brewing, so I loved that place when it was a brewery. I'm excited to see what it looks like now, and I hope folks in the community come and see what it is, because I think it'll be a great asset to Silverton and Marion County.
Wonderful. Okay. With that, we're adjourned. Thanks, everybody.